here, on the very rim of known space, justice is a long way away.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Space Game Junkie podcast. I, as always, am your co-host, Brian, and joining me, as always, is your co-host, Spaz.
Freedom! Horrible, horrible freedom!
What is that from? I know that.
That's a very early Simpsons episode.
Oh my god.
Your co-host, Julie?
Hey, how you doing?
Your co-host, Thorsten?
Still there.
And your co-host, Jacob.
The third rule of acquisition. Never spend more for an acquisition than you have to.
I need to get that book. I
have a copy of that book, and it is signed by Armin Shimmerman. I got him to sign it myself, and now that he signed it, he put little quark ears around his signature.
Oh, I did meet him once at a Buffy-related event, and I still can't get over how nice he was. Oh my, he's so nice.
He's a wonderful, wonderful man.
Oh my God, so nice. Anyway, folks, hello. Happy, what is it? Wednesday. It's Wednesday, right? We always do this Wednesday.
Yes.
We are here with the topic show today, my friends. We're going to talk about spacey games you can play for free. Now, we're going to talk about truly fully free games, but we're also going to talk about free-to-play games. Free
with caveats thereof.
Yeah, like the barrier to entry is free, but ... So we have a lot of games to talk about today. There are some you might have heard of, some you might not have heard of. On the stream, on the background as we talk, is an amazing and fun free game called Endless Sky, which is very reminiscent of an older series of games called Escape Velocity. And those came out originally for Apple computers. The last one was released for the PC, but that's the only one I've played. But yeah, Endless Sky is a really fantastic. Wait, you can get Escape Velocity Nova for free? Wait a minute, what? What? No, I didn't know that. Okay, I'm gonna add that to the list. I didn't know that. Hang on. Escape Velocity Nova is the last game in the Escape Velocity series. And you can you can download it? Oh, look at this. I found a Reddit post with links. In a sec.
Yeah, apparently you can. Well, let's carry on.
Anyway, I didn't know that. So apparently you can get Escape Velocity for free as well. My goodness. So yeah, there are a lot of really good. We're basically going to talk about mostly PC games here. There are probably a lot of great free space mobile games, but I don't know about my wonderful co-host here. I do not have the bandwidth to deal with both PC and mobile games. I can't cover it all. I just can't have it all in my brain. I know there are a lot of great mobile free games. I've never heard of Space RPG 4. I'll have to look that up. But yeah, we're basically going to focus on PC games here because that's our main focus here on Space Game Junkie anyway. But yeah, the one on the stream is Endless Sky, which is really, really great. If you haven't all played it, again, totally free. And the list of these games will be put on the post as well when I post this on the website today or tomorrow. So yeah, there are quite a few free space games, and a lot of them. I mean, there's a lot of crap. Let's just be honest. There's a lot of crap. Spaz sent us this Steam link with a lot of space games that are free, and a lot of it is garbage. So what we're gonna do is help you find the good stuff. Like look at all this stuff. There's prologue, so that's kind of a demo.
Yeah, some of them are prologues, so so of course it's just going to be the free demo kind of thing. But yeah, there are some good ones in that list.
I didn't know Star Sonata 2 was free to play. That's actually a good one too. I'm gonna add that to the list. That's an MMO. So we have our topic, but how do we go through our topic? Like, do we want to each suggest one, or how would you guys like to handle this topic? Because I mean,
I'd say discuss the one we want to discuss the best, because
okay,
I don't know. I guess rotate top to bottom one game each until we run out of time or get bored. Let's see if we can learn some.
We might not be able to cover all games today.
That is fine. Then. That is totally fine. So Jacob, did you have one in mind?
I had a veritable pile of them, but I feel like I kind of wanted to leave it for later because the one I wanted to bring up was kind of a failure story.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, fair enough. So we're starting off on a low note. Does anyone here remember Battlestar Galactica Online?
Yeah.
I
played it.
Okay, good. So I won't need to super introduce it. I'll introduce it to the audience. The game was... So, the premise of the game was you kind of have a competitive open world MMO thing set in the Battlestar Galactica setting, where you fly around a bunch of ships from fighters to bigger ships that were made up for the purpose of the game, and try to get as much money, resources, and stuff as possible. It was fun on its surface. It could have potentially been a competitor to EVE Online had it tried hard enough. Well, by virtue of tapping into an audience that isn't necessarily anarcho-capitalistic sociopaths. But it instead ran into several problems. Chiefly, it was monetized extremely aggressively, heavily promoting the purchase of cash with real world currency in order to get through the progression in any sensible amount of time.
Well, it's not just that. It was pay to win. It was directly pay to win.
Later, it became directly pay to win by getting you to buy better stuff. It also had several. It also compounded all those issues by doing the thing that no MMO has done before or since for good reason, which is uncapped levels. There was no upper limit, no physical upper limit on how high the levels for your character could be and how good your stats could be. Meaning, if you were starting a game, you could in fact never catch up to the people who were playing for however many years that damn thing kept going for. In addition, a lot of the social mechanics were a bit tough to get by. There was a main story that didn't work. The one thing the game had going for it was the base gameplay was kind of good, at the very least in the starter fighters, because the bigger ships were big, bulky, and kind of not worth fiddling with.
Right, you had to, because fielding them meant that was a bunch of fighters you couldn't have, and they were very expensive to replace and repair. So. Yes. For me, when I played, I was a Raptor pilot the entire time. I stayed in a Raptor even though I could have moved up. And it's because it was a hell of a lot cheaper to stay in a Raptor.
And also, gameplay was more involved than you press all the shoot buttons, park your ship next to the enemy ship, and hope the shoot buttons work.
Oh, I would usually fly as missile defense for cap ships. That's what I would typically do when I played. So I was always engaged. Yeah, exactly. And it sucked because when they pushed the cash shop, and I got in very, very early after it went into open beta. So I'd been in there within about a week after it went from closed beta to open. So I was there before the cash shop became a thing. And one of the first things they introduced was better ammo that you could buy, and it was, of course, consumable. So you had to buy lots of this consumable ammo.
Hang on a second. Hang on a fucking second. Wait a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, fuck that. Sorry, my language.
Yeah.
No,
I was there when they introduced that.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. Missiles, ammo for your guns. So if you wanted to kill targets more effectively, you needed to buy that consumable ammo. Mm-hmm. It's one of the reasons I failed.
Someone played World of Tanks.
That was a great idea.
And somehow took the completely wrong lessons out of it.
And a side note to that, because I'd been one of the people who'd been pretty active, I got invited to test another MMO they were working on, and I think I mentioned it on the show before. It was going to be another licensed property, an ARPG based on the Mummy series.
What?
Eh?
Yeah.
Did that ever come to fruition?
No, it actually died in development.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and thankfully it did, because it was not very well inspired. It was browser based.
I mean, it sounds like a great idea. I could see that being a good Diablo style ARPG if it's done well. I could totally see that.
It sounded like a nice idea, but then this was Big Point who was developing it, which means they were going to heavily monetize it if they actually did finish it. And then it would turn up being exactly in the same pay to win that they did with Battlestar Galactica Online. So, yeah.
And honestly, the idea of Mummy style RPG does not sound that endearing in the first place.
Well, no, it could have been good, but it would have been better if someone else had been developing it.
Fair.
So, Jacob, you came up with an example of a failure. What's one that you really liked that you thought succeeded well?
Well, there's a couple. There's one that I kind of want to bring up, mostly to draw attention to it. The game didn't start off as free, but well, it is technically space. It is Tyrian 2000, a very simple. It's essentially more complex Galaga. It's a top-down shooter, not top-down. It's like one of those.
It is a shoot 'em up.
Yeah,
it's a shoot 'em up. It's straight up just a shoot 'em up. And well, originally it was released at retail price, like late into the DOS era. The game, for a DOS game, looks exceptionally well.
Yeah, it's a great game. Tyrian is wonderful.
It is available on GOG.com completely for free.
Oh, nice.
And you can get it exactly right now. Oh, my apologies.
I did not know that. That's really great. I mean, I played the original Tyrian back in the day, and I loved it. That was a great game. I might have forgotten there was a 2000. But yeah, good one. And did you say there was another one?
He's away for a moment.
Oh, okay. So Spaz, do you have one that you could totally? Do you have at least? We'll go around. Do you have one that comes to mind as one you'd like to recommend?
Well, it's hard to say I can recommend it because I'm way too biased since I worked on it.
Yes, Quintet.
Yeah. So Quintet, yeah, we released it initially as a paid game with one DLC, and then we released it for completely free. It's now completely free. If you want to snag it on Steam, you can grab it there, and yeah, you can get some people going and get people on your ship. I mean, granted, long before I was a co-host, I was a guest for that show, but yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played it in a while, but do you know if it still gets any traffic at all? People still playing
here and there, just a couple people here and there, but it's free. I mean,
yeah,
it's not going to get the same numbers that it used to get.
Right, of course. It's a shame. What was his name? Carmine?
Yeah, he's on our server.
Right, but he hasn't he's doing something completely different now. And
at the moment he is working on his PhD. He got his master's while he was finishing up development on it, and then now he's working on his PhD in computer science, and he's teaching game design. So that's what he's been doing, and that's why we haven't had any other projects coming down the pipeline.
Well, as long as he's happy, I guess. I would love to see a Quintet too, but what are you gonna do?
I mean, technically it exists, but we just haven't been able to do anything more on it.
Right. Julie, do you know of any good free games you'd like to recommend? Just start with one.
Well, see, first off, I would like to predicate the whole thing by saying I have the only freeware game I have ever played predated the internet, and I mentioned it briefly, and that was something that was never published and done by somebody on the mainframe at U of I back before there was such a thing as an internet. But I have 3 things I would like to recommend briefly. One recommend and 2 not, and it was in this order: the good, the bad, and the ugly. And the good is Star Trek Online, because when they say free to play, they give away free spaceships throughout the year. The bad is StarMade, which when I quit, there was only 100 people worldwide playing it. And the ugly is EVE Online, and you know what I think about EVE Online.
And that's another one to the bingo.
Entirely fair.
But, StarMade actually, it was okay when it started, but, the interest in it waned. And I like Minecraft, and it's Minecraft in space. So, and it started out great guns, and it actually was freeware because they left their demo, and their demo was actually a full game. And I played it with a lot of people from the older gamers for a long time, but the market, the interest just waned in the whole thing. And literally when I left, there was about 100 people online at any given time. But Star Trek Online, they've got the cooperation of the people who own the IP. They're always bringing out new stories. And if you can't afford to buy their $30 spaceships, they give several away throughout the year.
And there are ways to actually grind up the premium currency. So it is theoretically possible to get all the ships you want over time. It just takes a lot of time. Yeah, dilithium and Zen. There's a dilithium Zen exchange, but right now there's such a high demand for one that the market is kind of like clogged with people willing to buy dilithium. So dilithium is in high demand right now.
Just like Discovery. If anyone watches Discovery. I guess I'm the only I guess I'm the only one.
Yeah.
I guess I'm the only one.
Not anymore. Yeah. Yes, but I liked the second season. That was great, but not anymore. But yes, dilithium is in high demand, and if you're willing to grind out, you can get all the ships you want. But they have a winter festival and a summer festival, and they have an anniversary event. And so every year they give away 3 ships, and they're not just like Grandma used to say, what Patty shot at. And I will admit that the whole loot box thing really grinds my gears, but I bought a lifetime subscription back when it first came out, and I haven't had to put a nickel in it since, and I've got more ships than I know what to do with. So
Star Trek Online is always a game that interests me. I used to play a lot more of it, but I stopped like a couple of years back. I did enjoy it, but I know it had a very rocky start, extremely rocky start, but after a lot of changes, it became pretty decent. It still has the unfortunate ground game tacked on that is...
Right. Just never land on the ground. I mean, it's gotten better since it started, truly.
True.
And I will say, since it started, the writing of the stories have gotten a lot better, and to the point where, I'd like to say, can we take some of the people from Star Trek Online and have them write for Discovery's the last season, so at least they'd have a halfway decent episode.
Yeah, I imagine that would help. So yeah, the solution to the problems of Star Trek Online is go to your ship and just power down all the transporters. All of them. Every single one.
Yeah, but hey, and the best thing is, unlike EVE Online, where there are people waiting at all the space gates to blow you out of space, it's just you just got to wait for your ship to respawn and have a lot of fun,
Yeah, it's not as stressful.
Well, yeah, I appreciate that the game is PvE, just because They have
Brian?
PvP, but nobody
Okay,
plays
go
it.
ahead. Oh, yeah.
Nobody plays it.
No one plays it. It's still there if you want to throw yourself at it, but no one plays it. Also,
Well-
what I was gonna
PvP used to be the thing because back when it first started, the only way to roll the Klingon was by earning it with PvP.
Yes, we literally talked about this last podcast, so I don't think we need to retread that particular bit of territory.
Yeah, that's fair.
Apologies. What I was going to say is, Brown, have we done the podcast on capital ship games yet? Or lack thereof?
That's a good question. If we haven't, I will add that to the, oh, thank God. I don't know what the hell that was. I will add that to the list because that's a great idea because there aren't enough cap ship games. I mean, there are some more that have been coming out, but it's still a tiny minority compared to fightery games and whatnot. So that's a good idea for a topic.
All right. So, right. Thank you. So let's carry on.
Yeah, we did one a while back.
Yeah, I thought we did maybe a while back, but a long time ago, like a long time ago. So it wouldn't hurt at all to do one with this new crew at all, because I'm sure there's a lot of good insight. I don't know are you guys hearing that? Are you guys hearing that noise?
Yes, we're hearing it from Thorsten's end.
Yes, I hear it.
Thorsten, are you okay, buddy?
Yeah. Again. Got a small cough.
Okay. As long as
It's more the weird background noise that's going on.
We're hearing some background, which is unusual. But yeah, no, that's a good idea actually, because yeah, there aren't enough good cap ship games. So that would probably be a very good topic for us to revisit, especially with this new crew. So Thorsten, was there a freeware game you'd like to start us off with?
I got a whole bunch.
Right, but
Really?
let's start with like your best one. Let's start with the one you're most excited about.
That's easy. That's Orbiter 2016.
Orbiter 2016.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. I link it in the chat.
Orbiter.
I will link it in the chat. And
Orbiter, is that the Elite style game or is that Pioneer that I'm
no.
thinking of?
That's a spaceflight simulator like the Microsoft Space Simulator back then, but free with a ton of mods and expansions, and it's completely free.
Luke says
And I'm absolutely excited about that. Luke's comment is completely right. It's KSP for rocket scientists.
well, then I'm not going to play it because I'm not smart enough to play Kerbal Space Program.
I'm barely smart enough for KSP.
I am such an idiot with Kerbal Space Program.
But it's by far the best spaceflight simulator on the market, and it's completely free. And as mentioned in the chat, of course, Pioneer and Oolite. I wanted to mention them later, and I link them here too. Both are remakes. Oolite is a remake of the Amiga version of Elite, and it's, in my opinion, better than Elite Dangerous.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
Which states a lot. And Pioneer is a remake of Elite 2 Frontier, and it's even better in that regard.
Yeah, I would much rather play Pioneer Oolite than Elite Dangerous.
Elite Dangerous.
Oh
Yeah.
God, yes, 100%.
I have much more fun with Elite than with Elite Dangerous. That says a lot.
Thorsten, is everything okay over there? You're getting like muffled or something. Am I the only? I'm not the only.
I get muffled. Should be everything okay. I'm not changed anything here.
Can you spend like a minute trying to sort out your audio, please?
Yeah, for some reason you go in and out between how you usually sound. The joys of doing this live, my friends. You sound how you usually sound, and then you sound like you're talking into a plastic cup. It's very strange.
Oh, okay. No, I don't know.
And now
How
you
does,
sound normal.
okay.
I don't understand. I don't get it.
I don't have changed anything here so far. Okay.
Anyway, sorry, folks. Don't know what happened there. Again, the joys of doing this live. The free space game I wanted to start with at the very least, and this is kind of a cheat because it used to be a paid game, got shut down, and someone resurrected it somehow. I don't know how, but Jumpgate, my friends. Remember, Jumpgate now is completely free, also better than Elite Dangerous, in my opinion. It just needs more people. It just needs more people. It just needs more people, and it'll be even better. But Jumpgate is completely free. And on that same line, Vendetta Online, if you're not aware, friends, went. I mean, there's a subscription kind of thing for it now, but you could play most of the game for free. I think they went some kind of freemium, free to play model last year. I think because of the pandemic, I believe. And now you can sign up and you can play for free. I think paying gets you some extra goodies, kind of like some other MMOs. But Vendetta Online now is completely free if you're unaware, and really good. It's also mobile. That one's also mobile. You could play that on your Android or whatever. You can play Vendetta Online on just about anything. And it's all the same account. So if you want to play on your phone or on your computer, that's pretty great. Another game I wanted to bring up that was paid at one time but is now free. This game came out in the mid-aughts. It's called Starshatter, if anyone remembers Starshatter. It's a space. Well, you start off as a fighter or bomber pilot, but you can get promoted to a destroyer or carrier commander in that game. Yes, Starshatter Gathering Storm was the kind of semi-sequel to the original. But you can now get Starshatter for completely free. The developer released it 8-9 years ago. And that game, I'll warn y'all going in, it's free. It's balls hard. It is balls to the wall hard. Like, I'm a pretty good space pilot, and I've rarely made it past 2 missions in that game.
Yeah, that game is nuts.
It is good. Like, when you die, it's like, okay, that completely is my fault. It's not like an unfair game. It is just such a challenge. Oh my God. It is maybe it's too much of a challenge for me. I've never gotten that far in that game, but if you can, you could like I said, be promoted to a destroyer commander or a carrier commander, and it adds whole new layers of gameplay. There's really nothing else like Starshatter, and you can get it again for completely free. Fernando, you bring up Babylon 5. I found her. Was that ever fully released? I'm not sure that was really. Was that ever finished? I don't know if that one was ever finished. If it was, I am mistaken, but I don't recall. You guys know what I'm talking about, co-hosts?
I know of it. I just never played it.
Yeah, it was a free. It was a free Babylon 5.
I know it.
Yeah, it's a free Babylon 5 game. There, because Sierra, remember them? They were working on a Babylon 5 game back in the day, and that also never got finished. But this was a fan-made game, and yeah, it was never. Yeah, it's. I mean, we're trying. One thing I don't want to do is talk about games that aren't done. So while Babylon 5 I found her is free, it's not finished. It was never finished. So I don't like recommending games that aren't finished. You know what I mean? I don't want to recommend half-assed games that never got done. So that's why even though yes, Babylon 5, if you You can track it down. It's called I Found Her. It is free, but if you play it, just go in knowing it's incomplete. Which is sad. Oh yeah, Into the Fire. That's what it was called. That Sierra Babylon 5 game. Never recommend Star Citizen. Well, one.
And bingo.
Well, I guess that could be the tagline of our podcast. Never recommend Star Citizen.
Genuinely. Like, they do this every podcast, every single bloody one.
Well, I mean, it's not unfair. It is such a big thing. You know, it is such a big thing. It shouldn't be. It doesn't deserve to be, but it is such a big thing. And so it's going to come up. Sadly, I wish it wouldn't, but it's going to come up because, I mean, yeah, they have free weekends, folks, where you can try out Star Citizen. And last time I played it was about a year ago, and there was just some scant missions to do. That was really it. There's like barely any there. But
And someone fell through his ship.
I did.
And,
That was me.
Yeah.
I fell through my ship. That's right. I forgot about that. We were warping on a ship together. This other streamer and me, we were streaming at the same time. And then I fell through his ship. Star Citizen is the NFT of space games. Yeah.
Shit, that's right.
Yeah, it was NFTs before NFTs.
Which makes me realize how long we've been waiting for the bloody thing.
I just love how
you could buy JPEGs of ships that haven't been released yet. So
Yeah.
that's fair.
yeah.
Or hey, you know, they gave their players a digital shirt because they gave them a digital shirt.
Wait, they did?
Yes.
I
You know about this?
I don't remember getting a digital shirt, and I was a Kickstarter backer. I never got it. I don't remember getting a shirt, a digital shirt, not a real shirt, of course, a digital shirt. If you want a real shirt, that's extra money. But yeah, Star Citizen comes up because we're just so disappointed. I wish it would just stop, but
Just a single wing commander game. How much is that to ask for?
There's a difference between being big and being infamous.
yeah, that's true. That's true. I just love how the original Kickstarter says delivery date 2014. I just
8 years.
Well, we can forgive slow development times because there are some games that they clearly show they need the development time, but they're also in constant communication with the people who backed it, that sort of thing.
And on scope creep to all buggery. Yes.
Exactly.
Also,
yeah, exactly.
can we get back to show
Cases
topic?
like
Because
that, yeah, we can totally forgive that, but anything else, not so much.
yeah, but I'd say we get back on topic because I know we're doing this live, but once we start trying to bash Star Citizen, we're not stopping. So
it's very hard to stop. That is a snowball. That's true. That is a snowball that rolls downhill.
It gets kind of procedural.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Here's a game nobody has mentioned yet, and I'm surprised because it's on Switch and it's on PC and it's absolutely free and it is really fun to play, and that's Warframe.
Oh, that's right. Warframe.
I'll qualify it and say I enjoy playing it, even if nobody else does.
Shogun, you have a problem.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Julie, I really don't want to ruin what you brought up, but holy shit!
Go ahead. I mean, we all have different opinions here. That's part of the joy of this.
I'm pretty sure I have sacrificed several years of my life and several $100 in therapist fees to Warframe alone,
Then why didn't you just quit? Whose fault is that? Why didn't you just quit?
I did. I haven't touched that game in 3 years. And I have been the happiest ever since.
No, I mean, like, but before it became something you had to see a therapist about, it's like stick your hand in the fire, pull it out when it starts to burn,
I get the premise.
I've played it a little bit, and I can never stick with it. I'll play like a mission. I'm like, that was all right, and then there's no lore to keep me going for some reason. I don't know why, but it just never sticks. It never sticks with me.
To me, it was the fact that it is a farming game with aspirations. It is a game that is extremely easy to optimize the fun out of, and you have to in order to get through all the content in a passable amount of time. I think that's the big one.
See, I look at it like this, and it's like when Gene Siskel first started, and for the people who aren't from the Chicago area, he was a famous movie producer, movie critic. And when Star Wars first came out, he blasted it, and so this is the kind of thing, Warframe, when I play it, it's like the difference between a popcorn movie and good drama. If I want good drama, I'll go watch an Ingmar Bergman movie. But, some games I just play just because it's a little fun, and, I don't play to get into the lore or anything like that. It's just something fun to pick up now and then and blow some things up.
So you're a dirty casual in Warframe, basically.
Oh, I guess I'm a dirty, filthy casual in Warframe. I'm not a dedicated player, and maybe that's why I enjoy it, unlike other people.
I could see that. Like, if you don't get too serious about it and you just dip your toe in every once in a while, I could still see you getting enjoyment out of it. Like, I see a lot of people talking about it all the time. They're really into it. And so every now and again, I'll reinstall it. I'm like, okay, what's the big deal? And I'll play a mission or two. I'm like, okay. And then I'll just not play it again for another year.
Well, see, the thing is, if you have a Switch like I do, normally if you want to play, and I know you do, if you want to play multiplayer games with other people, you normally have to have a Nintendo Online account, except for games like Warframe, where they don't require the Nintendo Online account. You just log on and there are the other people. So, I feel like little gaming with other people and nobody else is around. Somebody else is always around.
I didn't know that Warframe was on the Switch.
Yes, it is.
I will have to try it on the Switch to see if it's maybe more fun on that. But that's cool that it's on the Switch. It's a pretty beefy game, so that's nice that they got it on the Switch. I'm always impressed when they get beefy games like that and Skyrim on the Switch. But yeah, Warframe is. I mean, there are spaceships in that one, and
they added a freaking co-op starship thing that they did what they usually do, and that is, say, made another game mode and then never supported it with anything worthwhile. So it's just kind of a gimmick.
Oh, that's sad.
Well, it's fun exactly twice, precisely because of the lack of support and progression.
That's really sad when developers come up with a good idea like that and just doesn't go anywhere. Like Elite with their close combat thing, like that could have been fun.
That's good, yes.
Like if they made a racing game out of it, it could have been fun, but no. Anyway, not enough of that. But yeah, we got folks in the chat. We're talking about free games. So if we haven't talked about a specific game, like someone brought up Angels Fall first, great game, not free. But great game. It's a great game.
Great game. Just not on topic.
Yeah, not on topic. I mean, we should get those guys back at some point because apparently they're still working on the game, just very quietly, like very, very quietly. Was Angels Fall First free at one time? Patrick here is saying it was free? I don't remember. Does anyone remember Angels Fall First being free at one point? I do not remember that game being free.
I paid money for it.
Yeah, I paid money for it as well. Like,
yeah, same.
$14, something like that. $13, $14, something like that. I do not remember. I don't remember that game ever being free. I think it was. I think Mudpig. I think Angels Fall First was a mod originally for Unreal Tournament 2004. I think
something like that.
Yeah, I think it was a mod. Well, again, that's a good point.
And they developed it into a full thing.
Yeah, which is very good, by the way. You're right, Patrick. Into the Black is free, but it's not done yet. So I don't even know if it's anywhere near done. So it's hard to recommend a free game that's not done. And can you play that whenever you want, or are they still doing closed beta tests? Like, I think they're still doing closed tests on that one. So that's not I don't think that's a thing someone could just go right now and play. You know what I mean?
Which very disappoints me, to be honest. I wait for years that this game is finally out. That one's moving real slow. That one's moving real slow. I'm worried it's moving too slow.
It's taking its sweet time, all due respect. It has an estimated release date of this year.
Yeah, it was last year and it was 2020.
In the Black or Into the Black?
Into the Black.
Into the Black.
Oh,
in the Black. In the Black.
It does not come up on a Steam search. What?
Because it's not on Steam. It's not buyable yet.
Oh, I thought they at least had a page for it. Look at Google, but I thought they had a page for it at least.
Oh, there it is. Fernando linked it.
Thank you, Fernando. Thank you, Fernando. Yeah, you can't buy that one yet, Patrick. I'm sorry. So yeah, we hope that's great. What little I've played of it looks very promising because I have played it, and I hope it's as good as they're trying to make it, because it could be great. But wow, it hasn't been updated since October. Oh boy. But yeah, like, we're trying to recommend games where someone could listen to this podcast and go play it. You know what I mean? Like, here's a free game. Now, go. But that is not In the Black, because you can't play it yet. Oh, apparently it's going to have single player modes? Wow, I didn't know that. I thought it was multiplayer only. Anyway. So, technically, yes, In the Black will be a free game. But you can't get it yet. So, let's go back to games you can get. Where's my list? God, I've got too many browser windows open. There it is. So let's see. We've talked about that.
Having to go down the list because there are so many.
Yeah, there are a lot. There's a couple of there's a couple of games with the word conflict in them that I thought was funny. Star Conflict and Vega Conflict. Star Conflict is kind of a third person shooty thing.
It's done by the War Thunder devs, and okay. I can speak a bit more about it because I played a bit more. It started off quite decently as a fairly simple competitive multiplayer game where you fly a spaceship and you shoot people with other spaceships. And it was really fun in that regard. It had a fairly good gameplay, solid dogfighting mechanics, a variety of classes and options. Not too awful on the monetization, and decent enough teamwork. It ran into the issue of, paradoxically enough, massive scope creep, where it then added on like an open world set system, like skill queues, loot boxes, like meta progression. They just tacked on a veritable mountain of stuff that people didn't necessarily want because they just wanted the core gameplay to be better. I wouldn't necessarily say even it's bad, especially at the earlier stages, and the balancing isn't awful. This isn't War Thunder, despite sharing a developer. But like I'd say people should try it out to see if they like it, but try not to get overwhelmed and stick to the standard PvE modes, because otherwise you will suffer.
Hang on 1 second, folks. I have to do a thing.
Ooh, a thing.
All right. Sorry about that. The hell just happened?
I was going to recommend a game.
What the
Space Choice Data Analyzer. Now, this is a completely free game. It seems very, very simple. Space Choice Data Analyzer. I just linked it in the chat. Completely free. You have a fleet that you control, and you have to make choices very quickly. So, as things ramp up, you have different choices you've got to make. And that's really the core gameplay loop. Something comes up, situation, you make a choice. You decide what choice to make, and then you make another choice, and another choice, and another choice. And then you have less time to make those choices as things go on, and you have to sort of analyze the situation and decide what you need to do very quickly. It's actually really cool.
It's very much the sort of gimmicky Flash game I'd expect to see 10 years ago on a website, but I guess it's a free, not so Flash game on Steam. So,
well, it's made by the same developer as One Finger Death Punch.
Oh, I love those games. Those games are great.
Yeah, they're awesome.
I could give it a try. It looks pretty interesting.
You cannot go wrong with free.
Yeah, you really can't.
You cannot go wrong with free. It's a very tiny game, a tiny game for what you have in it. I mean, granted, it's 3 gigabytes of space, but that's tiny compared to what you're getting with, it's the graphics. You're getting some decent graphics with it, ship models and such.
Yeah, it's the fancy texture work and all that.
Oh,
Nobody has yet mentioned Star Wars: The Old Cash Grab, and that's a name I got from a friend. But I do know a developer who wrote for the game, and I played it, and I actually enjoyed it. But that was before it went free to play. But now it is free, and yes, they're kind of heavy with the microtransactions, but still an enjoyable game.
Yeah, that was on the list. We just hadn't gotten to it yet. But yeah, Star Wars: The Old Republic, or The Old Cash Grab, as you call it.
I played it several years back. Well, it was still free to play, and it was okay. It was like a middling BioWare game, and honestly, I never liked BioWare styles of games in the first place. That I had the fortune. Sorry, my apologies. I had the fortunate fortune of playing the one storyline that's really good out of all the class storylines, and that is Imperial Agent, because BioWare can apparently write spy thrillers fairly competently. And they've only done so once. And accidentally knocked it out the park.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I played through most of the class lines back before it went free to play, and I don't know, I really liked the writing. When I came back, what turned me off was all the intense microtransactions. Like when I wanted to go back and spend some of my virtual cash, and they said, before I can spend the virtual cash, I got to spend some money with my real cash. And I said, but I've already got the virtual cash.
Right, there's the whole, they had the entire premium subscription thing as well, which honestly most people consider a necessity with how limiting it was playing the game for free. So most people just treated the game as a freemium anyway. Because I don't remember the details, but I do remember playing without the subscription was extremely restrictive. But alas, the game was... I liked it. I didn't like it a ton, but I liked it enough to enjoy it, to finish like, I believe that was one of the first big expansions in the free-to-play, the Infinite Emperor or whatever, something like that. I don't remember it exactly, but I played up to that point and then stopped caring because all the people I played with also buggered off.
Fernando brings up a good point because he brought up Strange Adventures in Infinite Space, which apparently you can download at least the first game for free on itch. I did not know that. If you're unaware of what Strange Adventures in Infinite Space is, it's basically a Starflight style role-playing adventure game condensed into 10 to 20 minutes. And
that sounds interesting.
Coffee break kind of game.
Yeah, it's very good. It's very good. There's been 3 of them now. They're all basically the same, just with like more stuff, you know. But
I think the first one was Infinite Space, and then there was Strange Adventures in Infinite Space. And there's the third one, which is on Steam.
Yeah. So you can get the first one for free. Fernando linked it in the chat. It's on itch.io, and it's really good. I mean, it's got real-time combat, which is very fun. It's got funny writing, very funny writing. Lots of toys to play with, fun weapons. You can enlist the aid of other ships, so you can have a small fleet with you. You know, it's really a lot of fun. And and for free, you can't go wrong because you can just play that game over and over and over again, and every galaxy is different. So you'll be playing it quite a bit. Put a list in the comments.
Oh, Joshua, to answer your question, there will be a list in the blog post, which should probably go up around tomorrow. Yeah,
today or tomorrow, probably tomorrow. But I will be putting a list of the games we've been mentioning. Not links, because I just don't have time for that. But I'll put at least a list of the games we've been talking about on the blog post for the MP3 of the podcast, because we want people to play these games, you know. Let's see. I think we've hit everything that I had on the list, actually, that I had listed, and we've added several more.
Out of the stuff we care about, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. A couple that I can throw out there.
Go ahead.
Haven't been yet. There's one called Captain Starshot, which was done as a student project.
Starshot?
Yep, just linked it.
Yep.
Never heard of that one.
Yeah, it is completely free, and yeah, it was a fun time I had with it.
Oh, it looks like a fun little top-down thingy-majiggy. Apparently, it's in my library already. Sure.
Well, it is completely free. You probably found it at some point.
Oh,
and there's one other which it kind of counts because there is a spaceship. And I'm going to link that one as well.
But this Captain
Relic Hunters 0.
Relic Hunters
Remix.
0.
Yeah, it came out quite a while ago. It came out in 2015.
Never even heard of this one. Not space though, but you know, why not?
You actually do have a spaceship.
Oh, you do have a spaceship. Okay, it counts.
Yeah. That's why I said it counts.
Okay, it counts. Adding to the list. But that looks fun.
It's pretty fun, yeah. And it is from the creators of Chroma Squad. If you remember Chroma Squad.
Chroma Squad. Yes, the television show
you're
thing.
You're running a TV show that
about
is
Power Rangers.
Sentai show. And they also did Knights of Pen and Paper.
Oh, of course.
So they seem to have a type of gimmicky pixel art games. Yeah. I can respect that.
Yeah, hey, it seems to work for them. I'm trying to think if there's any free games we haven't touched on yet that we should.
got a few.
Okay, go
which
for
I
it.
want to mention. First one would be Red Planet Farming, which is part puzzle game, part strategy game. And I think it's pretty fun to play for a while.
Oh, look at that thing. I've never heard of this.
That came out someone last year or so. It's also a student project, and it's pretty nice. It can occupy you for a few minutes. Another game, a few hours. Another game I want to mention is actually a bit better. It's an X game and called Birth of the Empire. Birth of the Empires.
Yeah, Birth of the Empires. That's right.
Birth of the Empires. It's
yeah. That is a remake, so to speak, of Birth of the Federation.
Oh, right.
Oh, that game. That I played that game actually once. Birth of the Federation. I don't actually remember how I got it. I don't think there's a legitimate way of getting it besides resold copies, but I don't recall either way. It was terribly unbalanced, but it was enjoyable at the very least. And I imagine the
Birth of the Empires issued a lot of those problems. It's much more balanced than Birth of the Federation, or what it's called.
Yeah, I have actually played Birth of the Empires on mobile. There's a mobile. Yeah.
You guys remind me. There's another. You guys remind me. There's another free game in a similar vein. 10-minute space strategy, which is a very fun and quick to play. Compact 4X game that came out a little while ago. It's been out for a while now, but it's really a lot of fun. You can get a really good 4X game going in like 10 or 20 minutes, and that one is also completely free. Totally forgot about that one. I didn't know about. I don't know if I know about this Birth of Empires thing. I'm gonna have to look that up.
I know we talked about it on the show before. But yeah, of course, we talk about so many games. It's easy to forget.
Yeah, it's so easy to forget things.
I've got a little game I've played, and it's on my phone. There's a free version, and it's called Star Traders, and there's a free version of it, and it's just a little star. It's just like a little star trading space game. So kind of.
Yeah, we love those.
We
love it.
We love those.
We are a big fan of the Tracy brothers around here because, well, we've had them on the show before, and they continually give support to their games. We wonder if they even sleep because they're still supporting their games 7-8 years later after release. They're still supporting with adding new patches.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've played the Star Traders game on mobile for like 4 to 6 years.
Yeah.
Pretty much non-stop because it is that good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is exceptional.
And David, Star Traders Frontiers is amazing. If you have not played it, get it when it's on sale. Play a lot of it. You will have a lot of fun with it.
But yeah, you can play the original game. I mean, there's a paid version of it as well, but the free version is very generous. You can play, I think, most of, not all the game. I forget the.
Yeah. Free version is fun. It has lived on every version of my phone since the game first came out, and I really enjoy it. I mean, it's not heavy-handed drama, and it's not good lore, but it's just a fun game to play. It's like fun, casual game, and sometimes that's what I really want.
Well, the first Star Traders definitely. Frontiers adds a lot of lore. And a lot of story.
And even the first game had an exceptionally well described and and unique sounding setting. Okay, it was Dune with aspirations, but it was done with aspirations that was really well was really fun to look at.
Very well executed, regardless.
So many good games. Does anyone have any others before we start wrapping up?
I have one more to throw in.
Okay. I'm sorry. Please go, guys. I'm sorry. Please go.
Okay. Let me paste that in the chat because it's one that we used for our 200th podcast as our background video because we were playing it live.
Oh, the Orville?
Is that Orville interactive fan experience?
Is that done? Did they finish that?
It still shows as an early access, but effectively, I'd say they're done with it. But it's going to always be free. They've said that it will always be free, so you can play around in that. It's effectively built as the set of the Orville, because the layout of every room is actually placed the way that it would be on the actual soundstage.
Right.
So you go after the bridge and you end up in the school because that's where the school is located on the set.
Right. Also, June can't come soon enough.
Definitely.
So excited for season 3 of the Orville. Oh my God. So excited. Oh, sorry. Thorsten, you had a few more you wanted to throw in there?
I want at least add one, and that is Prospector RL, which is more or less the predecessor or spiritual ancestor of Approaching Infinity.
Oh, right.
And it's also a free game, and the only thing I don't like with Prospector is that you have to play it with keyboard and cannot change to a mouse controls.
Oh.
But that's the only complaint I've got about it. So that was for now my last thing I want to add. We might revisit this. We might revisit this topic in the future again.
We might. So folks, don't worry about if you missed a game. Again, I've got a list. I've got the list here. I'm going to post it. ASCII Sector. That's right. Well remembered, Luke. That's God. What is that one? Is that the privateer looking thing? No. Yes. That is the. That is the privateer looking. Well, it doesn't look exactly like Privateer, but it's very heavily inspired by Privateer. That's right. I've actually played ASCII Sector. I forgot about that one. Thank you, Luke. Excellent addition to the list. It's basically like a side-scrolling Privateer with ASCII graphics. Very good stuff. Very good stuff. We got like 20, 30 games here that people can play for free. So yeah, if you're hurting for money and you need some good space gaming friends, we have got you covered. My Lord. I guess we could start wrapping up because I think we've hit all the ones we wanted to, unless anyone has any more. I can't think of another one off the top of my head. What about you guys?
Did we mention Naev?
Oh, we didn't mention it's on the list, but I didn't mention it. Good one. Thank you. Naev, Naev, is also going to be on the list. It is also an escape velocity kind of like Endless Sky. They stopped development on it for a while, but recently the developers started picking up again and putting out some new versions. So development is moving on that one again. Oh, and how can we forget Remnants of the Precursors? How did I not? We just had the developer on the show, and
oh damn, yeah, you're right.
This is my fault because it was on the list. I thought we already talked about it, but that's not true.
It was on my list too.
So yeah, Remnants of the Precursors, my friends. If you're unaware, we had the developer on recently. That is a Master of Orion 1-like. That is completely free, and it is really good. Really, really, really good. I'd say if you're going to go for a Space 4X and you have a choice between that and Distant Worlds 2, get Remnants of the Precursors. Don't go for Distant Worlds 2 right now. I'm really disappointed in that game.
That needs a lot more work.
Oh God, it needs so much more work. It was released way too early. Just way too early. My heart is broken over that one, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, I'm going to do a suicide note. I wanted to play a good 4X, so I loaded up Old World after that. Oh my God, it's like night and day. Oh my God.
Well, Old World is wonderful.
Old World is so wonderful. I hadn't touched it in a while. Oh my God, it's come a long way since last touched it. Oh my God. Wait, there's still Trade Wars 2002 Telnet servers running?
What?
Oh my God. Really? Who? Trade Wars 2002. That takes me back to my BBS days. Oh my God.
Okay. Can we wrap this up and you tell me what the hell that is?
It's a multiplayer text-based online trading game that was popular in bulletin board systems back in the 80s and 90s. That apparently is still running. That apparently is still going. My God. So that's going to do it for this episode, I think. Again, the list will be on the show notes, on the blog when the MP3 of this goes up. So next week, my friends, on the show, we're going to talk about a topic that is near and dear to our hearts: accessibility. The older we get, the more accessibility options we need, and games with more accessibility options open games up for people with physical disabilities that might not be able to play games otherwise if these accessibility options didn't exist. And it's getting more and more important. I mean, it's always been important, but it's getting more recognition and it's getting more and more important. So we're going to talk about how accessibility has been coming along, the accessibility things we've been liking to see in games that we've been playing. So that's what we're going to talk about next week on the show. So, and tomorrow we're just going to do more X4. So that'll be fun. So, very active chat today. Thank you very much, everyone, for hanging out in the chat. Very awesome show. It was it was great to see you all chatting and giving suggestions and whatnot. I love seeing an active chat. And before we go, just want to say again, if you can, please get vaccinated. If you can. The pandemic is not over. We don't know when it'll be over. But the more that people get vaccinated, the closer we'll get to it being over. So please, if you can, get vaccinated if you haven't already. Please. And with that, we will bid you a good day. Take care of each other. Be well. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everyone.